Hi guys, Puddin here with the game for you in my Tier 9 Japanese destroyer, the Yugumo. Now, my captain skills are going to be Priority Target, Expert Marksman, Last Stand, Survivability Expert, Torpedo Reload, RPF, and Concealment. My modules are going to be Protect My Main Battery, Faster Repairing Engine, Better Aiming, Faster Get Up and Go, Concealment, and Torp Reload. This is more of a torpedo boat, but I take Expert Marksman because I'm not afraid to use my guns, and Expert Marksman really helps this ship, and a lot of people get surprised when you actually pew-pew them. You just have to be smart about your pew-pewing. As you can see, we're going to A. Now, somebody asked me in chat if I am streaming, and Sneaky and myself are discussing about how we want to go about streaming. Pretty much, if we're going to do it the way Spider did, stream on Twitch through our personal accounts, and then also be doing it at the same time on YouTube. The problem with YouTube is if you do play music, they are going to copyright you, so if I do, there will be no music, and there will also be no face cam because RIP, I have no camera. Now, we can see RPF is pointing towards the Henry-ish, but it's pointing at the square the Henry's in, which means the DD is probably coming up through the same square as the Henry. As we can see, the Henry is kind of moving on to a new square, and the RPF did not change to match the square the Henry's in, which means the DD is definitely coming this way. That's just something for you guys to know about using RPF. It used to point at the ships, now it points at the square the ship is in. See the Yugumo, my torps are reloaded, so his torps have to be reloaded. But see, this is where Expert Marksman comes into play. I had my guns already looking that way, and maybe this guy was looking at a different area because the Iowa was spotted. But I'm sending torps on his location on where he was last known. I turned to avoid the Yamato shells because I still don't want to get hit by them. I treat battleship shooting at me as if though it's still the old battleship AP, which, you know what, I wish they would bring back. If you get spotted in a destroyer, you should be, you should be punished for it. If another DD is willing to risk getting you detected, and a battleship is willing to shoot at you, the battleship should be rewarded for shooting good. I always will be a big proponent against this battleship AP only doing 10%. The issue was a double penetration bug, not that the battleships were actually shooting you. Now, as you can see, only 3 torps made it through that gap there. I see the Minotaur and I start thinking, well, maybe I'll go smoke them up. So I'm getting in position to set this guy up. Now, I let Griefer know I get 2 torp hits on something. I'm like, wow, that DD didn't die after 2 torp hits. As I'm setting up the Yamato, and then we see the Iowa, and the Iowa took the torps, and I'm like, you know what? I let Griefer know, I'm like, if you want to switch to HE, he definitely DCP'd because it was floods. Sorry about that, I had a cough. But I was going to smoke up the Minotaur. Now, I'm not sending torps against the Iowa. It may be looking like that, but I send the torps exactly where the Iowa was, so you can tell I'm not sending it against the Iowa. I'm sending torps against RPF on where that DD is going to be coming. I did notice that he did smoke up, which means, you know what, I don't need to do it, but it also tells me he has no radar, and it also lets the other destroyer know he has no radar, but he's definitely going to have Hydra. The way he's positioned, he'll be fine avoiding his torps, as I get a dove strike on the DD, and I'm not sure if the guy had survivability expert or not, because I failed to recognize that fact. But whatever, you know what, the guy's dead. Now, the only thing that we're aware of, or that we know, is Yamato kind of looked like the Yamato moved on to B. We've got a Henry and an Iowa over here. So I'm like, okay, you know, it's time to move forward, time to push. You know, we traded a Des Moines for a DD. Maybe not the best trade, but hey, whatever. We won the cap. This cap is ours. It's just a matter of when I want to take my ass and put it on the cap. I still want to set up for a quick retreat in case the Henry decides to hit the screw you. I can outrun everything except for Kaba and push me off of the cap, because the only defense I have is Griefer and the Minotaur. Now, Henrys have low armor, so he might not be willing to take the risk because there is a Musashi, but I don't know which way the Musashi's guns turn, as we see a Conqueror for the last time. First time. Failed to recognize that these two guys were divvied up, the Henry and the Conqueror, because that would have made me realize that the Conch and Henry are both on the same side, even though I don't think we've ever seen shots come from the Conqueror. I start laughing at Griefer. I'm like, man, if these torps can make it, I might be able to get torp hits on both of these fools. But they were sent at extreme long range, so all they got to kind of do is turn out in extreme long range, like 11 kilometers, even though they have 12. Simply turning out, these guys should be able to avoid it. Now, here's that Henry, and I just need to sit here. The Henry has 9-kilometer torps. His torpedoes aren't the fastest in the world, and what I mean by that is I have plenty of time to still get this cap. Once he starts getting within 9 kilometers, and I'm sitting right on that edge, I'm going to start moving forward. I'm going to have plenty of time to get out of dodge. But if I went nose in, I have to make a turn to get away from this guy. Now, this is how close I was that I almost came off of cap, which is why I turned in a little bit. But I'm definitely getting out of dodge. I don't want to be in this area because you know, maybe this guy sends torps and it's like, you know what, I'm going to send them here and whatever. Because this is where I would go as a DD, and they're actually sent right against me. I'm sending torps against him to push this guy away to make sure he goes through that channel. I don't want him doing any sort of stop, reverse, speed boost kind of stuff and then burn poor Griefer to the ground. I do ask Griefer for help. Now, the enemy have the points lead because I do believe they had 2 caps longer than we did. But we now finally have 2 caps. Now what the team's starting to do is herd the enemy above sea. What should have happened at this particular point in the game, the Henry should have came around the island, pushed in with the Conqueror, the Iowa, and the Musashi. These guys should have realized that there were 3 ships over here. One being a destroyer, which never wants to be caught, spotted, and definitely not with a Henry that has a main battery reload. We have a Minotaur, and if you play it right, you can delete, you can get rid of the Minotaur, and because our Minotaur is advancing. Griefer is still in the area, but he's bowing. But if these guys started pushing, Griefer's going to make a turn to start cutting these guys, which was going to put him behind islands, put him out of the fight for a little bit. So the only thing they got to worry about really is myself and potentially the Minotaur smoking up, pew-pewing them until somebody gets in his smoke firing range, which I believe is 5.5 kilometers, and he easily could have taken A from us. While all that was going on, these guys that have started leaving C could have defended B. But because they're all going up behind B, these guys are herded in. They don't have... they're going to run out of space to maneuver because there's 2 DDs on their flanks, and they're going to get caught in a nasty crossfire from torpedoes and from ships. And we still have the Musashi still south because... you know, it's not like they can go broadside to that. Like, these guys are all herded in one little area. And this isn't where you want to be. Like, if you see something like this taking place or folding out on your team, try to say something. Communicate with people. Even if the Iowa took the lead and died to everybody's torpedoes, well, guess what? That's 1 minute these guys have to keep advancing while everybody's torps reload. Now, I do have torps going against the Zao and the Iowa. Now, we can see the Zao started to potentially push, but, you know, he's slowed down. I do believe he's trying to get his torps off, which is against what? You know what? You don't know where anything is. Now, the Montana is making the push forward. I was thinking about dropping more smoke for the Minotaur because I don't know how long the smoke was, and I was going to dip in and see it and drop it. But then I noticed, you know what? The Montana is turning in. You know, good for this Montana to recognize that we both set launched our torps because he's going to turn in for a couple of reasons. The Minotaur's not shooting him, which means the Minotaur's torpedoing him. The Minotaur at this point should have retreated. If I would have saw him moving to retreat, I might have been able to smoke him up to get him out of dodge. But this guy really isn't moving and he's shooting, and I'm like, dropping smoke is a waste. This Minotaur's dead. I am smoking up because this Montana's going to take a shot in on the Minotaur, and that's going to give me 20 seconds to potentially put a fire on this guy. I want to put a fire on this guy because I have torpedoes being reloaded. I want to get a flood on this guy. I don't know if he has legendary mod, but even if he has legendary mod, that's 15 seconds of flooding. If this guy does have legendary mod, hey, I'll just have to try to get another fire. I get the fire on this guy, but he's actually low enough to where a torpedo should be able to finish him off. Now, I head south first instead of coming out to see where this guy is. I don't want to be close because he's probably running American accuracy, and I'm already close enough to where it's really going to hurt if he manages to get a shot off. So if I delay coming out, he's not exactly sure where I'm going to be. I'm not going to send torps without really seeing where he is, which is why I'm turning this way. See where he is, drop these torps, I get spotted because I came out from where the circle was, so he can see me. He's probably turning his guns right now for that, but I'm turning back into my smoke cloud. He was definitely turning his guns as the torpedoes managed to come in and finish off this gentleman, and I get him with just one tick of flood. I see my smoke cloud is actually still going to be able to conceal me, so I'm going to take some shots in the Zao. The Zao's got his guns turning the other way, and I'm like, oh man, maybe this guy will run in. No, he decided to turn. I was kind of hoping he'd run into these torpedoes because it would definitely be the death of him. Now that I believe Griefer is gone, or Griefer's been gone for a while, not sure. Zao's got nothing else to shoot at me except, you know, along with the 4 other ships. But as you can see, these guys are making their push way too late. There's no reason to defend B. I don't need to shoot. I know the Zao's looking at me. I may pull an answer. I don't know. So there's no reason to shoot. Something else is shooting to take, you know, to make this Zao whatever. Now, I sight in with my guns just to see what's going to happen with the Zao. And I'm like, you know what? Sending torps is kind of stupid. I noticed the Zao put out one fire. Let me shoot and see if I can get the fire. But, you know, my guns are actually going to be able to do this a lot faster as I set 2 fires on the Zao. More shells come in, and there's 2 more fires. I put 4 fires on a Zao and burn them down. We're just going to call that justice. Sweet, sweet justice. You burn everyone else to the ground with your 1 shell. 15 fires. Aditi just put 4 on you with 2 shells. Ha ha. But burn the Zao to the ground, and, you know, we're not sure where their last destroyer is. The Henry's all the way over by where a carrier would normally be if they controlled sea. So the Henry's out of the fight over here. The destroyer managed to go down to our Musashi. You know, the Iowa's coming in. The Iowa's not going to last long. Now, I don't know why the Yugumo is shooting and advancing, per se. If he would have smoked up, I would have gladly just spotted for him. I don't know why he's kiting, but you know what? I'm going to start shooting at this Iowa because 2 people shooting at him is going to kill him a lot faster. It doesn't matter which one of us, I believe, gets it, but you know, it's, we can see something that's looking this way, and it was the Iowa. Now, I get a nice hit from the Iowa, but I mean, I'm also advancing on the Iowa when I should be kiting, so ha ha ha. But the Musashi's now aiming at me, not the Iowa. I look at the thing, I see the Iowa's burning, knew he was going to die. The Musashi's never going, well, hopefully never going to kill me, but game's going to end, so now the post-battle results. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. I hope you enjoyed seeing what a real Yugumo could do, not a shimmy that loses a torpedo tube and has access to 20-kilometer torpedoes, or LOL torps. We do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We do appreciate the support you guys have been giving our cohorts, our favorite streamers, Oni, Static, Zath, and Sea Raptor. Their Twitch links are in the description down below. We do love the replays you guys do send us. The email for that is in the description down below, right underneath our favorite streamers. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.